In a world where every call counts, one team stands ready to answer. When you need support, it's not just a call, it's breaking news. With fast responses, expert advice, and a commitment to tackling even the toughest problems, the Help Desk Action News team is on the front lines, delivering the answers you need. Our team of professionals is here to turn your challenges into triumphs. No problem is too big, no issue is too small. Meet the team that's built to solve the impossible. A powerhouse of hardware technicians, troubleshooting experts, and veteran leaders. With years of experience and unmatched skills, we guide the way, ensuring every fix is not just fast, but flawless. When you need it done right, you know where to turn. Trust the team that always has your back. The Help Desk Action News team, where customer service meets excellence.
Hello and welcome to Channel 8 CSHD Morning News. I'm your host, Rachel, and our morning's top story. Are you ready for Summer Day Camp resident registration kickoff? Join us this morning as we cover Summer Day Camp needed forms and policies, weathering that hardware storm, and how to navigate that registration day congestion with our traffic on the 8s. But we begin this morning with our lead story, preparation for Summer Day Camp registration. Let's go now to Channel 8's chief correspondent, Allison Cheek, who's been following what we need to know regarding Summer Day Camp's forms and policies.
Good morning, I'm Allison Cheek, and we have a jam-packed broadcast for you today with news you absolutely can use. Let's look at today's top stories. A complete Summer Day Camp overview, breaking news on summer camp policies, a special report on camp forms and requirements, live coverage of summer playtime and teen centers. We'll hit key takeaways to ensure a smooth camp session. And finally, we'll finish off with questions. Stay with us as we dive into these hot topics. Our first story of the day, an inside look at the upcoming summer day camp season. The camp season officially runs from June the 23rd through August the 16th, 2025. A special pre-camp session takes place on June the 16th through June the 20th. Now, this pre-camp session is it's a popular choice for our homeschoolers, private school students, and even out-of-state visitors. And let's not forget that campers can choose from 2-week sessions or 1-week sessions, giving families flexibility throughout the summer. Now let's talk key dates to remember. Resident registration takes place on Wednesday, March the 12th at 9 a.m. and non-resident registration takes place that following Wednesday, March the 19th, also at 9 a.m. And the last day of school for Prince George's County Public Schools is Wednesday, June the 18th. Now, there are a few holidays that take place during the summer camp season. The first is the Juneteenth holiday, and that is on Thursday, June the 19th. Now, that does take place during the pre-camp session. Now, the last holiday that happens during day camp season is 4th of July, and of course, that is on July 4th. Now, let's talk about some important payment dates, and those are our pivot dates. Now, this will not be the last time that we'll talk about pivot dates during this broadcast today. The camps that start on or before July the 21st, that payment date is Sunday, June the 1st. And for camps that start after July 21st, camp payments are due on Tuesday, July the 1st. I'll say that one more time. Camps that start on or before July 21st, those payments are due on Sunday, June the 1st. And for camps that start after July 21st, payments are due on Tuesday, July 1st. Now let's talk about some day camp information. So our day camps the starting time and the end time for day camps is 9 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Now we also offer before care and after care for these sessions for an additional cost. Before care starts at 7 a.m. and ends at 9 a.m. And aftercare starts at 4:30 p.m. and ends at 6 p.m. And let's not forget about our littlest campers, our preschool campers. And those camps are half-day camps, and they are offered in 2 different times. There is the 9 a.m. session that runs from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., and then also the 1 p.m. session that is from 1 p.m. till 4 p.m. Now, the thing about the preschool sessions is there is no extended care for these sessions, so make sure our patrons are planning accordingly. Now, on to camp policies, because knowledge is power and preparation is key. We talked about the camp payment pivot dates before, and I said we were going to talk about them again. So let's talk about them one more time. Camp payment pivot dates are on payments that are due on Sunday, June 1st. Payment is due on Sunday, June 1st for camps that run from June the 16th through July the 21st, and payment is due on Tuesday, July 1st for camps that run from July 22nd through August the 22nd. So I'll say that one more time. Payment is due on Sunday, June the 1st for camps that run from June the 16th through July 21st, and payment is due on Tuesday, July the 1st for camps that run from July 22nd through August the 22nd. Now, we do have these payment dates are for campers whose parents decide that they don't want to pay all at one time for the camps. They decide that they want to put a $50 deposit down for these camps, and they decide they want to pay over time. Now, payment deadlines are strict-ish. Now, you may be wondering why I'm saying strict-ish. Now, that's if your facility decides that they want to take late payments, or they're offering a grace period for parents who do not pay on time, then you all do have the opportunity or the discretion to take a $20 late payment for any parents or guardians who do pay late. Now, this fee we are strict about, or this date we are strict about. The last date for checks is June the 1st. So we do not accept checks after June the 1st. And there is a $35 non-sufficient funds fee for checks with insufficient funds. Now, that $35 fee is in addition to that person's bank fee. So the fee may very well be over $35. And that $50 deposit that I was just talking about for camps is non-refundable and non-transferable. I'll say that again. That $50 deposit is non-refundable and non-transferable. And for camps after the registration date, there is a 2-week open window to process withdrawals without penalty, and that date is from March the 12th through March the 26th. Now, more on our policy spotlight. If your facility decides to cancel a camp, you all would have to offer a 100% refund for those camps. So again, if we as the commission or you at your facility decide to cancel a camp, that camper or that patron would be entitled a 100% refund for that camp. And fee assistance is available for Prince George's County residents. Applications do take up to 3 weeks to process, so make sure your patrons are getting those fee assistance applications in as soon as possible, which would be right now. And for wait list, all of the facilities, it is up to the facility to manage that wait list. So for patrons who are waitlisted for camps, they would need to contact the facility to find out if their space has become available for that camp, or the facility, you all can contact those patrons and let them know that there is a space available if a space does become available in the camp. And then last but not least in our policy spotlight, if a parent is late picking up a child from camp, you all are able to assess a $10 late pickup fee for every 15 minutes the parent is late. And that late fee can be assessed per child, but that is up to your discretion. hold on. We're hearing about a developing story. Every camper needs these mandatory forms completed and turned in by June the 1st. All right, let's talk about those forms now. So there are 6 mandatory forms that are due by June the 1st. The first is the participant profile form, and it is required for every summer program participant and details basic emergency contact information and liability waiver. So let's take a look at that form. So you'll see here on this form, you'll see that there is a space for the campers' information, their name, their address, their phone number, as well as their physician's information if there is any health information that we need to know. And then there is the liability information at the bottom and their signature for the parent or guardian. Now, you'll also notice that there is a line that says the name of the program and the location of the program. So this form needs to be filled out and completed for each camp that the camper is going to throughout the summer. So that means if a camper is if the camper is attending 4 camps throughout the summer, then this form needs to be completed 4 times, and it needs to go to each camp throughout the summer, and it needs to go to each one of those locations. Now, the next form is the day camp authorization form, and this is required for every summer day camp participant listing who is authorized to pick up, drop off your child or the child from camp. So we'll take a look at that form now. And you'll see again, we have the space for the participants' information. And then below that, you'll see the a space for each one of those authorized people who can pick up that child from camp. And that is because we just need to know who that child can go home with. We want to make sure that the child is not going home with the wrong person. And then below that, you'll see that information on the late pickup fee policy so that parents are aware that there is that late pickup fee. Now, the next form that we're going to talk about is the sunscreen application form. And that is for the spray-on sunscreen application consent. We'll take a look at that now. So, we want to make sure that our campers are protecting themselves from the sun. Some of our campers are old enough to be able to put on their sunscreen by themselves, but some of our younger campers may not be able to do so. So we have this form here that allows or gives consent for those campers who do need assistance with spray-on sunscreen. Now, this does not allow any staff to rub the sunscreen on. It's just spray on sunscreen. So this form does allow or give consent for those campers who do need assistance to just have spray on sunscreen put on that child. Now, moving on to the next form, it is the participation assessment form, and it is only required for those participants requesting disability support in an inclusive camp or for therapeutic recreation camps. After this form is completed, it needs to be emailed to the program.access@pgparks.com. So once it is completed, it should be emailed to program.access@pgparks.com. Now, this form is rather lengthy, but I am going to just show the first 2 pages here. It's about 11 pages long. The first page is just the participant's information as well as the representative's information, and you'll see that representative's information may be the parent, it could be a guardian, it could be a caseworker, but it is whoever is filling out the form for that participant. And then all the other pages after that is just information that is needed to help with any kind of information that the therapeutic recreation office or the inclusion offices will need to help give any kind of assistance throughout the summer for our campers so that they can have an enjoyable summer camp experience. And again, that form would then be mailed to the program.access@pgparks.com email address. All right, so our next form would then be the electronic devices policy form. And we'll take a look at that now. And this form just pretty much says, and this is a liability waiver, that pretty much says that the commission is not responsible for any lost, damaged, or stolen electronic devices. Now, of course, we'd like to say that we don't want the campers to bring their electronic devices with them when they come to camp. However, we know in this digital age that many of our campers will bring their cell phones with them, maybe tablets and things like that. So we're just letting the parents know that we are not responsible if any of these items are damaged, lost, or stolen. Now, moving along to our last and final form, it is the health and medication form. And the health and medication form is only required for those participants who indicated that they may have a health issue that they indicated on their participant forms. So you'll see here on this form that, again, we're asking for the participant's information. If that participant requires any medication throughout the summer, that information form will then require the physician to fill out that information in the top section. And then at the bottom, we're asking for any allergies that that participant may have. And then also we are asking for maybe any other issues that the staff may need to be aware of. Now, before a new summer camp participant can register for any camps, they will need to complete the required summer program participant information in Parks Direct. The section number is 16600-300A. This section asks questions such as the participant's emergency contact information, the physician's information, immunization status, any health considerations, whether or not the participant is a swimmer or a non-swimmer, and if the participant does need help or assistance with putting on spray-on sunscreen. Now, for returning campers, they may need to update their summer program participant information. That may be for various reasons, but we're going to go over how to update the summer program participant information now. So what you would need to do is go into your internal RecTrac the internal RecTrac into your internal RecTrac account and navigate to global sales. So we're going to go ahead and look at that now. Once you navigate to global sales, you are going to then look up the patron's information, going through household lookup. Once you look up their account, you are then going to go into their purchase history. Once you go into their purchase history, you are going to search for the summer program participant information. Once you find that, you are then going to go to the bottom and look up change. Once you go there, you're going to look for the change answers. And then you're going to get a box that will then have all of the participants' information, and then you'll be able to change their answers there. Once you are done, you'll hit continue. And then voila, you are then able to change that participant's program information. In an exclusive report, summer playground camps are now officially summer playtime camps. A name change, yes, but also some procedural updates. So last year, the summer playgrounds had a name change of summer playgrounds went from summer playgrounds to summer playtimes. So we're going to go over the difference between last year's summer playgrounds program to this year's summer playtime. So in 2024, the summer playground program was the drop-in program, and it had no sign-in and sign-out requirement. And this year in 2025 summer playtimes, the parents and guardians must sign in and out or submit a walk-home waiver. Now, in 2024 and 2025, the ages for this program remains unchanged. So it is still for ages 6 through 12. And for teen centers, this program remains unchanged from 2024 to 2025. It is still a drop-in program. The ages also remain unchanged for this program. It is still for ages 13 through 17. Now, in 2024, the teen centers, there was no walk-home waiver required. And in 2025, the walk-home waiver is required for those who are walking home alone. Now, things to remember about the summer playtime and teen centers. Number one, there are no refunds for any summer playtime programs. Number two, there is one site per participant. So you can only register for one site, one summer playtime or teen center site. And number three, these summer playtime and teen centers are operated at facilities throughout the county. Typically, they're operated at Prince George's County Public Schools, or they're operated at park buildings. And number four, program locations are subject to change based on insufficient registration. And number five, extended care is not available at any of the summer playtime or teen centers. And before we wrap up, let's revisit today's top stories. Resident registration opens March the 12th, and non-resident registration is the following Wednesday, March the 19th. Camp runs from June the 23rd through August the 16th. All required forms are due by June the 1st. And payment pivot dates are June the 1st and July the 1st. Deposits are non-refundable and non-transferable. And summer playgrounds are now called summer playtimes. And there are no refunds at playtime and teen sites. Now, before I hand it back to Rachel, do we have any questions? So the question was, can a parent register for both the 9 a.m. session and then also the 1 to 4 session? So there is the gap in between. So you're saying to make it for the whole day. They can register for both, but it would still be, you can't do both sessions. Okay, so no, they can't do both sessions throughout the day. Okay. Okay, so yeah, no, you can't beat the system, no. So the question is, are the before and after care sold separately? And yes, they are. Okay. So the question is, there's no drop-in for before and after care. You would have to sign up for the whole session of before and after care, either before or after care. And yes, there's no drop-in before care or after care. So the question is the $50 deposit a separate fee from the camp fee, or is it?
Like if my total due for camp is $400 and I want to pay overtime, do I now owe $450?
So the
Or
question,
do I still only owe $400 but $50 right now?
so your question is the $50 deposit in addition to the cost of the camp?
Yes.
So no, it is included. So that's part of the camp fee. So if it's $400 for the camp, you would pay $50 and then you would owe $350. Yes. So the question is, if it's during the 2-week period, would they get that $50 back? Yes, they would get their $50 back within that 2-week period. Afterwards, they would then they would lose their $50 deposit. So the question is, are the 3 people that are on the profile form, the people that are on the authorization form that are in that space for the authorized pickup people, are they, or should they be the same people? Are they automatically
Yeah.
able to pick up the child? They have to be on the actual authorization form. Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, so even the parent has to be on the authorization form.
The pre-registration process, that pre-section with the questions built into it, can they update that themselves? Or do we have to do it? Like a returning camper updating questions? You showed us how it would work.
Okay, I'm sorry. One more question, one more time. Say it one more time.
The pre-registration section, the 1,600, whatever it was.
Mhm.
Can the customer do that themselves if they want to update their responses, or do we have to do it through RecTrack side?
So for the section 16600-300A, if they are updating their questions, is it only an internal thing, or is that something that the customer can do on their end? I believe we only can do that, right? Yeah, the customers aren't able to do that. Yeah, they would have to do it internally.
Do we send any kind of reminder or update, or I'm not a parent, so I don't know how much attention the parents pay to pre-registration requirements, but I imagine 9 o'clock on Wednesday next week is since when and how am I know about this and what am I supposed to do now? How would new participants know to do this? And then is there any sort of like reminder, email blast, anything that we do send to past participants saying, reminder, update this?
So the question is there a reminder that goes out about that section before registration day? So there is a banner on PG Parks Direct. Yes,
Brochure.
it's on the brochure. Yes.
And customers from previous seasons do typically stay on the mailing list for the brochure.
Yes, they do.
And I would imagine parents do put some effort into plotting out their child's camp / daycare experience.
The mailing list is generated from the last 2 years worth of enrollments.
Okay,
So as long as they are signing up, the mailing list for the brochure is generated for the last about 2 years worth of enrollments. So as long as the parent or the child or whoever is registering, they will continue to get a guide sent to them. Now, if they move, they are responsible to tell us that they've moved. But so they should be getting that off the brochure, and yes, it is online.
So the question is, if the teen center waiver states that if they are walking home alone, but if they are walking with friends, do they still need to sign the or have the walk-home waiver completed?
The facility without their parent or guardian, they need that waiver. Parent needs consent that they can leave the facility.
For the folks at home.
So they need a walk-home waiver regardless of whether or not it is alone or with a friend. If it's without a parent, they need the walk-home waiver. So the question is, once you hit, when you do the 16600A 300A section, and you go through that whole process of hitting, changing the section information and then hitting continue, does it automatically save, or do you have to go through the payment information? No, you don't have to. Yes, it's saved. All right. Well, if no other questions, I hope this broadcast has provided you with all the tools you need to stay informed, stay prepared, and have a successful summer camp season. Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Allison, for that report. That was definitely informative and good to know. Oh, hold on, folks. It's been brought to my attention. We have a breaking story regarding resident registration. We're going to go live to our field agent, Eric Lewis, for more information on the summer day camp registration process.
Good morning, and welcome to the China Way News with the Customer Service Help Desk. My name is Eric Lewis, and I'll be giving you the breaking news throughout the commission today. Let's go ahead and dive into today's breaking news. In today's news, we're going to cover what customers will see, what facilities will see, age overrides, and household verifications. We're hearing back from our studio that all customers or all campers must first sign up for the 16600-300A section. This section is very important to everyone because they won't be able to sign up for any camps without this section, for one. And for two, it's also important because it gives the facilities all the information in case there is an emergency going on with a particular camper, and pretty much how to get in contact with anyone, or if a child may need to go to the hospital or anything like that. Breaking demo news. Now I'm going to demonstrate on how or what facilities will see when they're signing up campers next week on March 12th. Now, first, once you log into RecTrack, you're going to pull up global sales. Once you pull up global sales, you will have multiple ways that you can search up someone's account, such as phone number, family member's last name, and then or the household last name or the household number. Typically, if you know the household number by hand, that may be the easiest way to pull up, or by phone number, because you don't have to ask the person for their whole name and try to get the spelling correct. So phone number and household number may be the best ways to get those customers pulled up as quickly as possible. In today's demonstration, I'm going to use my own household, which I know my household number by heart. So once I put in the household number in the lookup box, I'm going to then choose the household number from the dropdown. Once I do so, I'm going to hit the select button at the bottom right, and then that's going to open my account in Global Sales. Now, as you can see, my child Blake, he's already participated in camps before. So his summer participation profile section is already in the purchase history. Now, as Allison mentioned earlier, if you look down in the green box, you have the ability to change any question and answers that need to be updated for this section. Now, once you hit the change section answers, as Allison also mentioned in her presentation, you can then update any of these questions. Now, as she also stated, you can only do these at facilities. The customers will not be able to do these at home. So if you get anyone that doesn't come into your facility in person, and if they do not call the help desk and they call your facility, you can let them know that they have to do them in person with you all at the facility. So today, I don't think I will need to update any of these questions, as my son Blake still has the same doctor. So, and he's still a non-swimmer, of course. He's only 8, right? So once I confirm that these questions are right, I'm going to then hit continue at the bottom right, I'm sorry. And then I'm going to go over to the activities tab. So once I get into the activities tab, it's a few ways that you could also search up the camps, right? Sometimes you can use a short description, as you see as I used it here. Some parents are also proactive. They will have a list of their camps that they want to sign up for because they know that they will possibly be full within minutes. So you can either, if they do have those codes ready, you can put in the activity code and section code. Also, if you scroll over to your right, you can also filter it by facility, by camp, by age, by date, etc. Now, my son Blake is into sports a lot. So he wants to go to flag football camp all summer. He already let me know that. So once I search up flag football by using a short description, I'm going to then highlight the camp. You only need to click it once. And then I'm going to also highlight Blake's name in the family members selection. Once I do so, I'm going to then hit add cart at the bottom middle of the screen. And then once I hit add the cart, it's going to take me to this screen. Now, as Allison also mentioned in her presentation, you have the option to choose what billing you want to use, right? So the first one that we have is the June 1st payment by credit card. And it says June 1st because this camp is before July 21st. So if parents choose to use their credit card, this will allow them to put their credit card on file to be automatically billed on June 1st without having to go in to make any payments manually. The second option would be installment bill. An installment bill, pretty much, as Allison also mentioned, they would just pay the $50 deposit, and then they will pay they will have to go in manually into their account or visit one of our Prince George's County community centers and pay the remaining balance on June 1st or July 1st. The last option would be pay in full. I think that's pretty self-explanatory for our big spenders out there. If they want to pay for about 4 or 5 camps, pay over $1K for the whole summer is upfront. I mean, it wouldn't be me, but they have that option to do so. Now, today, what the option I'm going to choose is installment bill. So once I choose the installment bill from the drop down, I'm going to then hit continue at the bottom right-hand corner. And then once I hit continue, the camp is going to go into the shopping cart. Now, for those that that this may be their first time having camps with us, and they didn't have the participant profile section in their purchase history, you don't have to process it, as Alice also mentioned when she answered the questions. The camp will also go into the shopping cart with the section as well, and it will allow you to process it without any errors. So once you do this process over a few times for the mini camps that the parent may choose, you will come to the bottom right-hand corner where you see the payment button. I'm only choosing 1 camp right now, but if they choose 4 camps, it would be $50 times those 4 camps, and they would just have to pay that. They have to pay that payment, right? So once they hit the payment button, it's going to take me to the next screen, and this is the payment screen. So if you look at the 2 boxes here I have selected, first you want to choose the pay code. The pay codes that we have options for would be cash, check, and also credit card. Today I'm going to just choose cash. And then if you look at the right-hand corner, this side is very important as well because this gives the opportunity to email and also preview and print the receipt for the client. Now, for some of you at front desk, the print receipt should automatically be checked for you, and the printer should also be checked as well, which it will say the Epson printer. You can like I said, you can also give the customer the opportunity or the option to pick if they want to have the email receipt as well. And if you are having printer issues, you also can preview it as well, just so it goes to the right printer in case it comes out on the receipt printer, but they want it actually in hand. You can print it out on your Xerox printer as well. Now, once you do so and you choose the correct pay code and also choose whichever printer you want to print it to, you want to hit the process button at the bottom left-hand corner, the green button. This is going to process the whole transaction. Just in, we have a development story from our weather guy. PG Parks and Rec is flooded with customers. And when I say flooded with customers, this means that it's too many customers that's on the website at one time. And they also would generate a virtual queue for them in an orderly fashion and allow them to go into the website as the way they've received to come in. Now, this will also cause RecTrack for you community centers in person to run a little slower, but let's just be patient and keep in mind that we will still be able to process all of our transactions. While that story continues to develop, we have another major event, age overrides. Now, Parks and Rec sections are divided into 2 categories, as we call them unprotected and protected programs. Age overrides may be required if the child is not within the age range at the time of enrollment as well as before the end of the program. However, it should be known that age overrides are not guaranteed. So please encourage the customers or parents to have backup plans for those camps they want to get in, to be ready or to have those camps ready so that if the age override is not approved, that they have other camps ready for their child. And household documents. Now, we may get some customers that haven't used Parks and Rec before. This may be their first time using camp. A child may have just turned 6 and they couldn't get into camp last year. They didn't know about the preschool camp, or people that may have just moved to Prince George's County, right? If they wait until March 12th to make their account online, these are the documents that they can use to verify their account and verify also their proof of age and residency. Now, we do have a screen steps in Parks and Rec that gives the customers the how to upload these documents. If you do not know how to get there, our traffic guy will talk about how to reach screen steps in his presentation. But as you can see, like I said, these are lists here that they can use. Now, as we close out today's headlines, we leave you with before and after care. So the before after care is pretty self-explanatory. The enrollments into the camp guarantees you a spot in before and after care. However, please encourage parents and customers to register as soon as possible, because as Allison also mentioned earlier, that we need to get the proper staff for those kids that need inclusion. We don't want to wait till June 1st to try to get those forms for the inclusion staff, and then we don't have any staff for those kids on the first day of camp. So it's very important that we try to get those kids in before aftercare as soon as possible. It's like I said, the enrollment in camp guarantees them. So for example, if we get customers that may sign up for camp next week, they don't have to sign up for the before aftercare on March 12th, but we would encourage them to do it as soon as possible. I would roughly say at least by April. That's my preference. And that wraps up today's news. Do you have any questions? So the question was, if she wants to do it, if the customers wants to do it over the phone and they want to change the questions, they have to do it over the help desk. No, because we don't take any registration over the phone, then that would kind of be like a registration standpoint of it. So they can only do it in person. Correct, yes. The question is no payment plan for before aftercare? No, the before aftercare fee is very less than the summer day camp fee. So if they pay for it, it's due right there up front. I think the fee may be like $42 or something like that. Yeah. So the question was, what was the difference between the credit card $50 deposit and also the installment bill $50? So yes, as you pretty much explained, the first option, credit card, it gives you, once you choose the credit card, you would then get another screen that allows you to add the credit card onto the household, and then you still have to process the payment and then add the credit card. Then process the credit card by them either tapping or swiping, taking the payment. And then the installment bill, yes, they would be responsible for making that payment. So that's where pretty much the late fee comes in. If they don't pay it by June 1st, the facilities have the option to then charge that late fee. Now back to you, Rachel, at the studio.
Thank you, folks. And we are back in studio. Just a quick note regarding fee assistance. If your facility should receive a fee assistance application, we do ask that you pay it forward and update those other registrations that are on that account with that information as well. But coming up next, we have our weather and traffic on the 8th. But first, a word from our sponsors.
I need to print a roster before campers arrive.
Just call the help desk, 69255.
I want to change the payment plan for Dunk and Dive.
Just call the help desk, 69255.
69255.
They've helped thousands, they'll help you too. Great customer service is what they'll give to you.
I I want to put my rec track skills to overdrive.
Just call the help desk, 6992255.
6992255.
6992255.
It's your help desk. Call them when you need them.
Just call the help desk, 6992255. Call now.
Okay, first day on the job, stay focused. They have skee ball? Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Alright, it's your first day.
I know. Okay. Hopefully Kenya doesn't see this. Wait, don't worry. I know how to fix it. Como un vecino, the help desk está ahí. Wait, let me do it again. I have to sing the jingle. Como un vecino, the help desk está ahí. Oh wait, no one speaks Spanish over there anymore. I got it. Like a good neighbor, the help desk is there.
Credit card reader on the fritz? Help desk got you covered.
Oh my god, you're so good. Wait, isn't it your telework day today?
Oh yeah, I'm out of here.
Bowie Community Center, this is Kenya speaking. Oh, hey Nancy. Carlos, yeah, he's doing a pretty good job. Between you and me though, his coordination could use a little work, but we'll get him right. All right, thanks, bye.
And welcome back to the Channel 8 CSHD Morning News. Looks like there's some clouds rolling in next week with a few brief periods of sun. For a closer look at the registration day hardware weather, let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Pierre Haynes. Pierre, how can we prepare for the resident registration day deluge?
Thanks, Rachel. This is Weathering the Storm with News Channel 8. My name is Pierre, and I'm here to help guide you through the storm in case you and your facility find yourselves experiencing any equipment failures during the day camp registration. Okay, so it looks like we have a storm front rolling in with a slew of equipment failures covering from VIC not running to credit card terminals on the fritz, and we even have receipt printers not printing and cash drawers not opening. So if you're not tech savvy, then stay tuned as we help prepare to hop you into the trenches and get your equipment back up and running. Just like a sudden thunderstorm can disrupt a clear day, a black screen on your credit card reader can strike without warning. Before you panic, let's break down the storm clouds and troubleshoot the issue step by step. When a black screen appears, it's like a cloud formation signaling a storm. We need to understand the cause before reacting, so let's check the weather conditions of your device. Is it plugged in? A black screen means no power, just like a power outage during a storm. Start by checking the power source. Ensure that the cable is securely plugged in, just like making sure weather equipment is grounded. Ensure the outlet works by testing it with another device, similar to checking if your radar station is picking up signals. If the screen is still black, but the device is securely plugged into the outlet, the issue may be with the cables. Just like with broken communication between weather satellites, loose cables can cause a display failure. Once you've checked all these conditions, you'll be able to clear the storm and restore the POS system to full functionality. If the black screen persists, it's time to call in the professionals. You can reach out to your reliable call center staff. They can help you assess the situation and troubleshoot. But if this is a hurdle that they cannot jump, they can reach out to our hardware team, and a hardware technician can be your storm chaser, helping identify and fix the underlying issue. We interrupt your regular programming with an urgent message regarding an unexpected storm brewing in the tech world. It seems that the Ingenico credit card readers, much like sudden thunderstorms, have been freezing up, catching many off guard. These freezing systems have been disrupting transactions in a whole swath of regions while leaving facilities in a state of confusion and concern. The freezing appears to be spreading quickly across the landscape as affected credit card readers stop responding to swipes and taps. Much like a sudden unpredictable lightning strike, these attempts to reset the device are proving to be futile as trying to predict the weather itself. But fear not, there are steps you can take to weather the storm and get your device back on track. Let's break it down into easy steps. First, step 1, the reset. This is your first line of defense when the system freezes. Much like how we reset our weather apps to get updated forecast, simply holding down the clear and minus buttons, waiting a few seconds for a beep, and then letting it cycle will reboot the system. This can clear temporary data hiccups and get things flowing again. However, if that doesn't clear the storm, step 2, check the network connection. A lot of our facilities are transitioning to using network readers, which plug directly into an available network port instead of the back of the computer. The telltale sign that your reader is no longer on the network is you'll see an unbolted signal on the bottom of the screen. Much like how unstable air pressure creates thunderstorms, verify that your device is connected to a live network port. You can also try switching to a different network port if available to see if the issue persists. Moving on to step 3, make sure the customer agrees to the amount. It is very important that your customer agrees to the amount before proceeding, because this has been known to freeze up the readers as well before, with them just inserting the cards. Buckle up, folks. We're on the brink of something serious. The VIC system is about to unleash a force of nature like never before. What we're looking at is nothing short of VIC-Mageddon. When your VIC system experiences an outage, it's like a sudden snowstorm that obscures your visibility. Let's first investigate the cause of this storm. If you logged on and you've noticed that you're under drawer 10, even though you already have an assigned drawer number, it is likely that VIC at some point disconnected. Much like when a snowstorm hits, the first thing meteorologists check is the power and communication lines. Similarly, you need to ensure that your VIC system is powered on and connected properly. What you'll want to do is you'll want to close out of RecTrack and follow these steps. Once you have reconnected to VIC, you can reopen RecTrack and log back into your account. Be sure to launch VIC first before logging onto RecTrack. Lately, reports are pouring in that USB cameras are unable to take pictures when updating a household account, an issue that's been sweeping across many systems, much like the unpredictability of a tornado's path. As these cameras go dark, users are left with a spinning storm of frustration, unable to capture photos for membership cards. But fear not, just as tornadoes can be tracked and their paths altered, we've got some troubleshooting steps to help you calm the storm and get those cameras working again. As we dive into the fixes, let's take a look at the likely cause. It seems that Google Chrome, in its latest updates, may have triggered a chain reaction in your USB camera settings, or an unsuspecting user may have clicked deny access when Chrome asks for permissions. This issue is like an unexpected funnel cloud, causing chaos within your browser and preventing the camera from functioning properly. Now, let's move on to the steps. Step 1, check your permissions. This is where we begin our efforts to redirect the storm. Just like we would check the storm's warning system, we need to check your camera permissions in Chrome. Here's what to do. Open Chrome and click the 3-dot menu at the top right of your screen. Then head to Settings. From there, scroll down to the Privacy and Security section. Next, click on the Site Settings. This is where the storm is brewing, folks. Under the Content section, look for Camera. You should see a list of websites that have requested access to your camera. Make sure that the camera setting is set to Ask before accessing, or better yet, Allow. If it is set to block, it's no wonder your camera isn't taking any pictures. You've just encountered the camera blockage storm. Much like a tornado that eventually clears the sky, these steps will help you break through the storm, stay vigilant, and follow the path of the troubleshooting steps, and soon you'll be back taking pictures as calm as a clear sunny day. Now that we have covered storms, tornadoes, and sudden ice fronts, we've got a perfect weather forecast for you today. Clear skies, no disruptions, and everything working as it should. But for some of you, we've noticed some turbulence brewing in your point of sale system, and it's with your cash drawers and your receipt printers. Now, much like how clear skies follow a storm, let's work together to get your point of sale system back up and running. Today, we'll discuss how cash drawers and receipt printers should work in harmony, why your receipt printer might not be functioning, and how the various lock positions on your cash drawer can impact your entire process. When functioning properly, the cash drawer and the receipt printers work together like a well-orchestrated system. As you complete a transaction, the printer does its job by printing the receipt, while the cash drawer opens to allow you to complete the transaction and store the cash or change. This process is as smooth and predictable as a sunny day with no interruptions. But what happens when they aren't running smoothly as they should? Let's talk about the most common issue. Your receipt printer isn't working. Much like how an unexpected cloud can pop up on an otherwise clear sky, there can be a few reasons why your receipt printer isn't printing. We need to track down the source of the disruption. First, check the paper supply. Just like how a clear sky can turn stormy, a receipt printer might stop working if it's out of paper or if the paper isn't loaded properly. Always check the paper supply and ensure that it's properly positioned inside the printer. Now, step 2, your connectivity. Sometimes the printer can lose its connection to the cash drawer or the point of sale system. Just like how high winds can otherwise disrupt a calm, sunny day, check the cables and ensure all connections are snug and secure. Now, let's move on to the next issue, your cash drawer. Believe it or not, the lock positions of your cash drawer can actually affect its ability to open properly and work in tandem with your receipt printer. Just like how the position of the sun impacts the weather, the lock positions of your cash drawer can determine if it opens at the right moment. Most cash drawers have 3 lock positions: full open, RecTrack controlled, and locked. If your drawer is in the full open position, it won't stay closed. This can be indicated if the bottom of the keyhole is facing the left and the key code is upside down. Note the A7 on the latch. If your drawer is in the RecTrack controlled position, it simply won't open unless given a command to open through RecTrack. This can be indicated if the keyhole is vertical. If your drawer is in the locked position, it simply won't open. This can be indicated if the bottom of the keyhole is facing the right, no matter how much your receipt printer churns out that beautiful receipt. Well, folks, as we wrap up today's weather forecast, let's talk about what lies ahead, because it's that time of the year to get ready for something exciting. Summer is just around the corner, and MNC PPC is gearing up to host another fun-filled, action-packed summer day camp registration. And remember, folks, while the weather will be sunny and bright, it's always good to check the forecast before you head into your registration day. Make sure that your equipment is in working order and check to see if your staff have the proper permissions, and be sure to not let sudden weather changes get you down. Feel free to reach out to our wonderful call center in the event that you need assistance, preferably 2 weeks before registration is available. That's your forecast today. Until next time, stay safe, have fun, and get ready for some amazing summer adventures. Back to you, Rachel.
Thank you, Pierre, for that weather report. It looks like with the right prep, we can all weather this storm together. Now, before we hit the road, let's go ahead and make sure we don't have any surprise support backup. So let's go to our eye in the sky, Quincy Clark, who will let us know what the support conditions for resident registration day look like and what we can all do to avoid sitting in any delays.
Thanks, Rachel. Good afternoon, team. Welcome to today's special broadcast brought to you by our very own Channel 8 Customer Service Help Desk News team. We're about to dive into a high traffic day of registration, and just like your local traffic report, we'll be bringing you updates on the 8s and when it breaks. Like any good traffic report, we'll start on the outskirts with how to get in contact with our news team. Then we'll take a quick detour to our Screen Steps district. After that, we'll shift to our high traffic area for some things to consider before the big day. And lastly, we'll cover how to best route our customers around the traffic patterns of the day. Starting with us, your local news station can be reached at 301-699-2255, or of course you can email us at customerservice@pgparks.com. Now on the day of, expect heavy traffic around 6600 Kenilworth Avenue, where we stand today, on the day of during registration rush hour. Not the usual rush hour, but our peak times of 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., where we're going to be the most busy. We want to try and reserve these routes for emergencies, meaning things that bring traffic at the front desk to a standstill, things like login issues or VIC issues, or any issues with sections that would prevent people from registering for those camps or their associated extended care sections. And our areas of expertise include RecTrack oriented issues, Parks Direct errors, so anything that clients are going to be seeing online, and then anything to do specifically with the configuration of activities and sections. Now, the finance portion of our news team can be reached at 301-699-2256, or they can be emailed at helpdeskfinance@pgparks.com. They specialize in third-party billing for camp payments, any mistaken payments that are made, or any batch issues that you might encounter on the day of. Now, if you're running into congestion when trying to reach our news team, we have a wonderful alternative for you in our Screen Steps page. Our Job Aid website is a fantastic resource designed to clear up any confusion and help you avoid unnecessary delays. Think of it as your personal GPS for navigating registration day with step-by-step guides and quick tips for getting back on track. Check it out if you need a shortcut to resolving issues. Now, there are three main ways to access Screen Steps. The first is going to be the Quick Links menu located within RecTrack. This can be accessed from the sidebar menu within RecTrack. And then you just look towards the bottom of that, and you should see in the quick links the Screen Steps knowledge base that you can access from there. The next is our Management Services Division SharePoint sites. The link to that site is included in this presentation, but feel free to email us as well for the link to that page. It's got a lot of useful resources, but most notably here, the knowledge base. Finally, there should be an icon for Screen Steps on your desktop, but if there isn't for whatever reason, one of the aforementioned methods should suffice to pull up the web page. But if you do have that link, you can just double click on that and it'll bring you straight to the Screen Steps homepage. Now, once you're on Screen Steps, there are a ton of useful articles for reference, but a couple that should be of particular use on the day of are the following. Registering for day camps will give you an overview of how to actually process a registration, and it'll cover some of the specifics regarding the non-refundable, non-transferable fee and the different types of billing. Updating registration question responses will go over what we discussed earlier about updating the question answers for the summer program participant information section. Processing a refund will be useful for any same-day cancellations. And then in that same vein, how to cancel a section should cover how to process a cancellation for a day camp or extended care registration. There are even some useful categories that you can find articles in, including things like global sales, hardware and software, and program data entry for making changes to any activity sections. Now, you want to make sure that you're ready on the day of. So before you hit the registration highway, there are a few things to consider to make sure you're cruising with no traffic ahead. Preparing ahead of time ensures your trip through the process will be smooth and free of delays. Consider your pre-trip checklist to avoid getting stuck in the slow lane. So as our chief weather correspondent mentioned earlier, you want to make sure that the skies are clear before you leave out and make sure that all your hardware ducks are in a row. You also want to make sure you're familiar with the results of our recent top stories that our breaking news correspondents mentioned with regard to the summer program participant information section, any age override requests, and fee assistance applications. Most notably for those two, you want to make sure that your staff are prepared to receive those applications and know, one, to expect them, and two, where to take that information for it to be processed. And then a couple more things to note. You want to make sure that your staff have active RecTrack accounts and that their passwords are in order so that they're able to log in on the day of. You want to make sure that your staff are prepared for same-day cancellation requests that you will most likely be receiving on the day of. You want to make sure that your popular sections and their prerequisite extended care sections are configured correctly. And if you're not sure if they are, you can always reach out or report it to your local news station, that's us, for review. And then, if there are any programs being paid for with third-party billing options that you're aware of, you want to make sure that you work with our finance team to ensure that those registrations go smoothly. Now, as registration day hits full throttle, there are several clear lanes for our customers to reach us and avoid any roadblocks along the way. Let's break down the main routes that they can take when they require assistance. First, the fast lane, our help page. If they need a quick answer, our help page, help.pgparksdirect.com, is the high-speed route. It's packed with resources and FAQs to get them to where they need to go without any detours. I believe it was mentioned earlier that if somebody's trying to, to verify their residency, it'll have the list of the documents that are required and also the means through which they can submit that information either to a facility or to the help desk. And it'll also cover like account and registration and management stuff on that page. Just point them in the right direction. They'll be cruising in no time. Second, the direct line that is the customer service help desk. Sometimes our customers may hit a traffic jam and need direct assistance. The help desk is their dedicated pit stop. They can call or email us directly, and our team will jump in to clear the path and guide them through any issues, whether it's a system hiccup or a registration roadblock. Now, we know this route is going to be experiencing heavy traffic on the day of, so if you have to refer somebody, make sure they're at least aware of the conditions on the road ahead. And third, but not least, the local route. Contacting the facility directly. For those who need a more localized solution, they can reach out directly to the facility hosting their program or activity. This is the on-the-ground team ready to help with any location-specific needs. Think of it like a local traffic controller, keeping things flowing smoothly at their specific venue. Our news team will do what we can to help with as many situations and callers as we can, but just know that we may be referring patrons to the facilities where their camps their camp registrations are located at for more localized assistance. Remember, each of these routes is designed to keep things moving efficiently and avoid any slowdowns. The more we guide our customers to the right path, the faster they can get to their destination, which is a seamless registration experience. That brings us to the end of our traffic report. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. All right. Thank you for your time. And remember, you know where to find us and we know where to go. Back to you, Rachel.
Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our broadcast today. I want to thank our incredible reporters and our various news teams for their support in today's broadcast, and of course, all of you for your time. All presentation materials will be provided by the end of this week. And remember, the news never stops, and neither do we. Until next time, this is the CSHD Channel 8 News Team signing off. Have a great day.